In this world, everyone has the opportunity to become a god, and people are categorized based on their level of divine power into demigods, true gods, elders, and higher gods. Upon turning 18, individuals can awaken their divine realm and discover their unique representative. A person's talent determines how powerful their representative can be. The main character, Hanwoo, has awakened his divine realm but received a low-tier representative, a worthless locust. Can he alter his fate under these circumstances? Right now, Hanwoo is at school, where he is being harassed by a local bully named Jangdun. Jangdun believes he can intimidate anyone because of his power and threatens to ruin Hanwoo's divine realm if he doesn't hand over his divine power points willingly. Jangdun has been unfairly granted immense strength, with the ability to command an orc army of 5,000 in his realm. In response, Hanwoo confidently challenges Jangdun to try if he dares. Hanwoo is viewed as a weakling, especially since he now resides in the body of a cowardly person who awakened with a locust representative. This all began yesterday when Hanwoo arrived in this world and found himself in the body of a pathetic individual who awakened at 18 with a weak representative. He visited his grandfather in the hospital, who told him that his parents were lost in the chaotic sea of stars near the Imperial Academy, but they are likely still alive. Hanwoo hopes to find them one day. Meanwhile, a girl named Chinwon has started to bother him, claiming that if he becomes her slave and provides her with Thunder God locusts every day, she will ensure he gets something in return. Chinwon promised that if Hanwoo became her slave and provided her with Thunder God locusts every day, he would be able to graduate and earn his high school diploma. He needed to think carefully about her offer. Meanwhile, the school bully Janbin began demanding 100 divine power points from Hanwoo, threatening to destroy his divine realm. It seemed like the difficulty of this situation had increased dramatically from the start. With only locusts as his representatives, Hanwoo knew he wouldn't be able to enter the Imperial Academy, let alone search for his parents. Determined to confront Jangbin, Hanwoo approached the capsule, realizing he couldn't just stand by and let Jangbin ruin his life. He climbed into the capsule, put on the helmet, and thought that since he was in this world, he should at least try to improve his situation. Giving up would disrespect the opportunity he had been given. The system announced that the connection to the divine realm had begun. When he successfully connected, his eyes widened as he saw green fields and mountains before him. Looking down in surprise, he noticed a swarm of locusts resting on the grass and wondered if they were his representatives. A status window opened, displaying information about him and his divine realm. He had a unique talent called Heaven's Chosen Son and a divine ability called Sacrifice of Life. Currently, he had 1 divinity point, 0 divine power points, and a faith power of 200,000. His divine realm was at level 1, containing 800,000 adult locusts, 160,000 young locusts, and 20 million eggs. Hanwoo thought that according to the memories of this body, he hadn't possessed the Heaven's Chosen Son talent or the Sacrifice of Life ability before his transfer. He opened the talent description, which explained that being the chosen son meant he had been selected by the heavens and possessed great luck. For each level he achieved, he would gain a unique ability. The Sacrifice of Life ability allowed him to sacrifice a creature's life once a day in exchange for a randomly generated product of equal value. Hanwoo looked at the description of his first talent and realized this must be the cheat he had received. Hanwoo realized that the unique ability of Sacrifice of Life was likely granted to him due to becoming a divine being. This wasn't bad at all. With these abilities, he might still fulfill his grandfather's last wish, but only if he could survive his encounter with Jangbin tomorrow. He looked thoughtfully at the representative description window and noticed that the locusts had a talent for reproduction, with a degree of faith classified as fanatics. They would obey the orders of their god, and there were 3 types of believers: devout, fanatics, and saints. He could gain 1 point of faith per day, and the locusts could reproduce 300 individuals daily. Their life cycle was 90 days, 15 days as eggs, 15 days as juveniles, 45 days as adults, and 15 days as old locusts. Hanwoo realized that since his representatives had a talent for reproduction, he could speed up their growth using his Sacrifice of Life ability. One day in the real world equaled 100 days in the divine realm, meaning several generations of locusts could grow in just one day. This realization sparked an idea. He would have to take a risk and make a bold bet. If he won, he would become powerful. If he lost, he would lose everything and be left with nothing. The next morning, he went to school, and Chinwan entered the classroom. She approached Hanwoo and asked if he had thought about her offer. Was he ready to become her slave? She promised that if he accepted, no one would harm him until the end of the school year. Hanwoo replied that he refused. Chinwan was surprised and exclaimed, questioning if he understood what he had just said. Without her protection, he would be devoured alive. He admitted she might be right, but he would still prefer to refuse. Even weaklings like him had some dignity. He appreciated her concern for him, but he had made up his mind. If she had nothing else to say, she could leave. Displeased, she turned away and warned him that he would regret his decision. After refusing Chinwan's offer, Hanwoo sighed heavily. Jangbin and his friends quickly approached him, asking if he had gathered the 100 divine power points. One of Jangbin's friends told him not to be foolish and not to make them exert themselves, while another demanded he hand over the points immediately or they would destroy his pathetic divine realm. Hanwoo looked at them tiredly, but then Jangbin placed a hand on his shoulder, which made him angry. Hanwoo told him to take his hand off. Irritated, Jangbin asked if Hanwoo was really tired of living, questioning how he dared to argue back. He warned that if Hanwoo didn't voluntarily give up his divine power points, he would destroy his divine realm. Hanwoo frowned and told Jangbin to try if he dared. Jangbin was taken aback, confused as to why Hanwoo was acting this way today. Usually, he wouldn't even look up. He then glanced at Chinwan, wondering what she was doing there. Jangbin's friends started to encourage him to fight, with one mentioning he had never seen a destroyed divine realm before. Another friend excitedly added that Hanwoo's locusts had significantly weakened their class, so they should quickly deal with him and force him to leave school. Rumor had it that Jangbin's orc army was among the top 60 representatives in the school, and they were eager to see it in action. Jangbin smiled as he took out a card from his pocket, warning Hanwoo not to say he hadn't been given a chance. He said that Hanwoo chose death for himself and regretted wasting 10 power points on someone like him. Jangbin used an invasion card, which cost him 1 divine power point and created a portal to invade Hanwoo's divine realm. Feeling nervous, Hanwoo gasped as he was sucked into the portal. Moments later, he found himself in a rocky area facing a massive gate. When it opened, many silhouettes with glowing red eyes emerged. It was Jangbin's orcs. Hanwoo floated in the sky, appearing as a deity, and commanded his locust army to smash his enemies' pale locusts and destroy his divine realm. The orcs raised their fists, cheering loudly, while everyone outside watched the live broadcast. One observer commented that it seemed like Jangbin's orc army had increased by at least 1,000, moving him into the top 50 of the school. Another person asked in surprise what he meant by top 50. Noting that all of Jangbin's orcs were armed with iron weapons, suggesting they were already in the top 30. Someone else pointed out an unusual creature standing in front of the orc army, prompting shock that Hanwoo had summoned something so unique. Chinwan, who stood among the crowd, sighed in displeasure. Meanwhile, Hanwoo summoned self-detonating locusts, ordering them to attack the orcs. Observers noted that the locusts had taken on a different color, with one person asking about the red insects. Another exclaimed in surprise that these were self-detonating locusts, questioning when Hanwoo had managed to produce them in such large numbers. The person next to him dismissed their concern, stating that no matter how elite they were still locusts and wouldn't stand a chance against the orcs. As the orcs charged forward, the locusts rushed to meet them. Upon collision, the insects exploded, sending a massive column of flame into the sky. Hanwoo smiled at the sight, recalling that the day before, he had used his ability to leave 1 million adult locusts for reproduction while sacrificing the rest. The locusts were consumed in the sacrificial fire that rose like a tornado, and the system reported several options for what he could gain from this. Option 1, he could obtain 10,000 goblin warriors, which was an unusual creature. Option 2, the spring of life, which produced life-giving water to nourish his creatures and improve the environment of his divine realm. Option 3, a first-level sacred artifact. Among the rewards, one option was the Heart of Explosion. By placing this heart into his divine realm, there was a chance that individuals with explosive abilities would be born among his locust representatives. Hanwoo found this option very tempting. It could help him easily handle the challenges he would face tomorrow. However, since it was a one-time summoning, he would ultimately remain the same weakling. The Spring of Life could strengthen his locusts over time, but the battle was tomorrow, so that wouldn't help him now. He decided to choose the third option, which he felt would be the most beneficial. The reward was aimed at his main representatives and wouldn't disappear quickly, provided he was lucky. A red crystal appeared above his hand. He smashed it and threw the insect with all his might, triggering an explosion. Watching the flames, he felt a surge of luck. While the orcs would likely survive, increasing their numbers might work to his advantage. He needed to experiment with this. The battlefield was now filled with dust and smoke. Students wondered what was happening. As the dust settled, orc corpses lay scattered, but some orcs still survived. Hanwoo summoned the locusts again and sent them toward the enemy. Meanwhile, Chinwon smiled, commenting that things were getting interesting. Seeing the locusts approaching, the orcs froze in place. Hanwoo, in his deity form, ordered the surviving orcs to return to their divine realm quickly. With a smile, he taunted Jangbin, asking if he was trying to run away. It was too late, though. He extended his hand, commanding his representatives to pursue them. If needed, they could invade Jangbin's divine realm. A massive swarm of locusts flew through the gate, and powerful explosions echoed. Jangbin called out to Hanwoo in annoyance, demanding that he order his insects to leave his realm and spare his orcs. Hanwoo grinned, and Jangbin reluctantly admitted defeat, asking him to remove the insects from his domain and leave his orcs alone. Hanwoo asked why Jangbin was backing down. Didn't he threaten to destroy his realm? Hanwoo thought it would be fair to retaliate by destroying Jangbin's realm. Jangbin, nervous, claimed he couldn't do that because his parents would come after him. His father was a demigod, and his mother was on her way to becoming one. He knew he couldn't handle them. Ignoring Jangbin's pleas, Hanwoo commanded the locusts to destroy his orb. As the insects surged toward the gate, Jangbin tearfully begged him to stop, promising he would never bother Hanwoo again and would fulfill any of his demands. Hanwoo replied that he didn't want anything from Jangbin. He just wanted him to suffer the fate he had planned. Suddenly, a stern male voice interrupted, demanding Hanwoo stop. It was Teacher TTI, who told Hanwoo that he had already won, and there was no need to go further. Jangbin called out to the teacher for help, pleading for him to stop the attack. However, Hanwoo ignored them and let the locusts continue. As they began to invade Jangbin's divine realm, Jangbin felt pain and cried out for assistance. Teacher Lu then called Hanwoo's name, urging him to stop pretending he couldn't hear him. Hanwoo replied that he heard perfectly well and asked the teacher why he was there. Lu explained that as their homeroom teacher, he was responsible for the students, which is why he decided to intervene. Hanwoo countered with another question: where was Lu when Jangbin and his friends bullied him and extorted divine power points? Why didn't he step in then? Lu thought Hanwoo was foolish for not realizing he was putting himself at risk for someone like Jangbin, whose parents were demigods. Lu insisted they could discuss this after Hanwoo stopped his actions. Hanwoo asked one last question: if he were in Jangbin's position, would Lu have intervened in the fight? The teacher hesitated, falling silent, accepting Lu's lack of response. Hanwoo concluded that he thought so. The locusts detonated the core within the god realm, causing the portal to start collapsing, and Jangbin screamed in panic. Meanwhile, Hanwoo turned to the teacher and ordered him to leave his domain immediately. As the live broadcast ended, the students were left in shock over the events they had witnessed. Jangbin, sitting on the floor, muttered curses, realizing what had just happened.